Hello viewers, my name is Naomi Kuria from Almasi International Consultant, and we'll continue with our business etiquette program. Last week we talked about grooming. Today we're going to talk about dressing. Dressing is very important, and first impression is always the last impression. Over 50% of the people will always judge us by the way we look. So when we dress, going to the office, this is something that we must ensure that we pay attention to. It's very important to dress appropriately, and it's always very important to make sure that we are comfortable at our workplaces. So how do we ensure that we maintain the business standard in terms of how we dress? The basic rules are very simple. What we do is we must emphasize on the quality of our wardrobe. So how do we make sure that our wardrobe is well done? We do that by observing the 3F principle. And what are we talking about when we say that? So the first F is the finish or finishing. So when you talk about finishing, is you must ensure that your wardrobe has clothes that are well finished. So when you talk about being well finished, what are we saying? The first thing that you need to check is if you're wearing a cloth that has buttons, make sure that the buttons are all in place and the buttons match with one another, and also the button match with your clothes. Also make sure that if you have a cloth that has a zipper, your zipper must be of a high quality. Do not put a zipper that will embarrass you in your workplace. Also ensure that your hemlines are done well. When you look at your clothes, make sure that you don't have strings that are hanging in your clothing. Make sure that you are wearing a cloth that is well done. So the second F that we are talking about is the fabric. Make sure that your cloth has a good quality fabric. Make sure that the fabric that you're wearing also makes you feel comfortable and confident. Do not put on a fabric that will make you become very agitated at your workplace or become very uncomfortable. So how do you achieve that? To make sure that you have a good fabric, go for the natural fabrics. The natural fabrics really work well in an office setup, and they will not embarrass you at any given time, and then they are always easy when you are ironing or when you are pressing your clothes. So the last F that we talk about is the fitting. When you're putting on your clothes, do not put on too tight clothes, and also at the same time do not put on very baggy clothes. Just make sure that your clothes fits you well. If you've bought a cloth that you feel like this cloth probably is oversized, please take it to your tailor and ensure that she does it or he does it in a manner that fits you well. So when talking about the ladies, when you're putting on either a dress or a skirt, make sure that your clothing hits the knee. That dress or skirt must hit the knee. It can either be slightly below the knee or slightly above the knee. When we are talking about a business setup, do not put on clothes that are very long. They will make you look like you are going for an event, probably maybe a wedding, a dinner, or probably you are going to the church. And alternatively, when you put on a cloth that is very short, it will make you look a little bit uncomfortable. You will feel uncomfortable, and even the people that are around you also will feel uncomfortable, especially if we are talking about the plus size ladies. So make sure that your clothes is just within the right standards that you're supposed to put on. When you're putting on your blouse, make sure that the cleavage is at the right place. Do not put on blouses that are also too revealing. Do not put on a transparent blouse. Make sure that when you're investing in a blouse, you're investing in a blouse that covers you well, and also look for colors that are conservative. Do not again go for shades that are too bright or probably that are off the business limits. When you're talking about the trouser suit or a skirt suit for ladies, make sure that your trouser hits the ankle. Do not put on a very long trouser. Neither should you put on a very short trouser when you're going to the office. Make sure that the colors that you're putting on are conservative. Blacks, dark blue or the grays or the navy blues, they really work well. So make sure that you maintain those shades, the darker shades and conservative shades. It's always good sometimes once in a while to put a little bit of color, but do not exaggerate, do not put too much color. Just make sure that the colors are within the range that makes you feel comfortable in an office setup. So when you're talking about the shoes for the ladies, your shoe should be closed. If you're putting on an open shoes, it should not be a very open shoe. Probably the tiptoe would do fine in an office setup. Avoid putting on stilettos, especially if you're working in a very busy environment. You will tend to get very tired, and once in a while you'll find yourself in sandals which are not very conducive for a business setup. So avoid shoes that will make you uncomfortable. Preferably go for leather shoes. Leather shoes works very well in an office setup. So when you're talking about men, ensure that your shirt is well pressed, it's neat and clean. When you're putting on a tie, let your tie just just hit the belt. Do not put on a tie that goes beyond the belt. It just has to hit the belt. And again, do not wear a tie that is very short. When you're talking about your suit again should observe the color, the conservative colors that like the ones we've mentioned when talking about the ladies. The blacks work very well, navy blue works also very well, and the gray shades. Make sure that you just balance within those colors. They will really make you look comfortable and look sharp in an office setup. So when you're talking about shoes for men, avoid sandals altogether. Put on closed shoes and preferably go for the leather shoes. And for men, it's always advisable to go for either black or dark brown. Those two colors really work well in an office setup. Do not look for bright shoes when you're going to the office. They will make you look awkward and slightly go off. Again, when you're talking about your socks, invest in a pair of socks that matches the trousers that you are wearing. For example, if you're wearing a black trouser, look for a black pair of socks. Those ones will make you look well, neat and put together. Do not wear a white pair of socks when you're going to the office. It will completely make you look off, and you will look like you really did not put your clothes together, or you're not well put together. Again, when you're talking about suits for men, avoid bright colors. Bright colors will always make you become the center of attention. And when you're in an office, you don't want to become the center of attention. You want your business to become the center of attention. So it's very critical to put on a well-made suit. Again, for men, remove the label. When you buy your suit, make sure that you pull out the label that is always on your suit. Do not wear your suit with the labels on. Make sure that label is not there. Just do away with it completely. Again, it's very important for men to avoid prints and very many colors. Do conservative colors. Conservative colors works well in an office setup. So when you talk about our skin tone, make sure again when you are doing your clothing, you observe your skin color. Do not put on colors that will clash with your skin tone. Make sure that you look for colors that blends well with your skin tone. Again, the most important thing when you talk about etiquette and in dressing, the most important thing is when you are dressing, you are thinking about your colleagues, you are thinking about your business partners, you are thinking about your clients. What will they say when they see you dressed? So make sure that when you dress, you put in mind others. Do not dress so that you impress yourself. Dress to feel comfortable, and dress so that you look sharp and smart enough so that even when you are around other people, they will look at you and they will see that you are presentable. And then when you're talking about dressing, it does not matter whether it's on a Monday, a Tuesday, or a Wednesday. From Monday to Thursday, make sure that you put on official dress. Friday is normally considered as a dress down day, but again, when you talk about dress down, we don't mean that you completely put on casuals. No, look for nice business business casual or smart casuals that you can put on. There are some organizations that will always provide branded t-shirts or branded shirts for the staff. If they provide those, then you can put them on. And for men, always remember to tuck in your shirt or your t-shirt, and ensure for men, when you invest in a belt, your belt has to match with your shoe. Make sure that the belt matches with the shoe. So that's all for today. Next week we'll talk about accessories, and thank you so much for listening to me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and bye bye for now.